What's going on, guys? Mickle here, and in today's video I want to get into the XRP price chart. We saw a pretty vicious sell-off last night, yet despite the negative price action, we've actually done something very bullish, and it's making me very confident in the patterns we've been watching. We've actually seen the daily candle close positive, and we're seeing a nice rebound off the resistances we've been watching. In this video, I'm going to present you 3 different charts that are really going to show you why I'm so bullish, and despite the negative price action, I still think we have a massive rally right around the corner. Guys, the patterns we've been watching are very explosive, especially in XRP. The last time this pattern played out, we saw a gain of over 224%, and I have reason to believe this time is going to be even larger. You guys are definitely going to want to stick around for this video because those who position themselves before the rally are really optimized to make the most profit. Guys, make sure if you're new to this channel or if you come here all the time, you like the video down below and you're subscribed to my channel. It's going to help me out so much in the YouTube algorithm, and it's going to help more people just like you see this video. So with that said, guys, let's jump right into the content, and I hope you enjoy it. Alrighty guys, well before I jump into it, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who left a comment on my video last night. I know we saw some scary price action, but everyone was super positive down in the comments, and it really just showed that everyone who's following this channel is really focused on the longer term time frames and not just what happens in a single day. So I just wanted to say thank you for that, because that's really the type of community I'm trying to build here, and let's jump right into what we're seeing right now. So if we zoom in, we can see that we've actually had a super interesting daily close, and is really validating this chart we've been watching. We saw last night that we had a massive candle come all the way back down into this symmetrical triangle, and it had me a little worried we might close below this resistance. I called out on my video last night that it would be extremely bullish if this candle actually got sucked all the way back up and we actually closed above this top resistance line. We actually saw exactly that happen and are now forming a new candle above this resistance line. This is super bullish because this resistance line has been around for months and has been suppressing the XRP price for a long time now. It was very important that we break out of this resistance and not fall back below it. If we are able to stay above it, then we will actually turn this line into support, and it will be a very bullish factor going forward. It will really establish the fact that we are now outside of this symmetrical triangle we've been watching and make for some very bullish price action going forward. I want to point out that we didn't see this event take place the last time XRP broke out back here, but I also want to point out that this really was a freak event and had to do with the Chinese Evergrande situation. We saw massive dips in Bitcoin as well as Ethereum, so I don't really think this was an XRP chart specific price movement rather than just a massive sell-off in the broader markets, but I do love to see how XRP is reacting to this resistance line, and I think it really shows how significant it is on this chart. I actually also want to get into another chart with you that I think is super interesting and tells a slightly different but also equally bullish story. This is another symmetrical triangle pattern that I'm watching on the XRP price chart. The only difference is rather than drawing this top resistance line from the top candle up here, I'm actually drawing it from more of an average of this pump right here. The reason I did this is because we did see a massive wick down after topping out right at this resistance right here. On the other chart, we can see that this resistance came below and this breakout was actually past here. On this chart, we can see that we are actually making resistance right here and falling back into the channel. Despite this, I was super encouraged by the fact that on this chart, we were able to wick back into this ascending channel. We know that this is a very bullish zone for XRP, and believe it or not, this is actually something we did see the last time XRP played out. I think it's super cool how, despite how similar these charts are, they do tell a very different story, but it is equally bullish nevertheless. In this scenario, we did see XRP break out above this channel, fall back into it, only to blast off in the coming days. this is something a supporter of our channel actually pointed out, and it really made me think that despite the fact that we haven't been watching this pattern necessarily the entire time, it does make me think that it does have some significance to it. What I would expect to see, if this is really the pattern that's going to dictate the parabolic move, is I would expect in the coming days we'd work our way back into here and break out of this channel before it finished right here. This is essentially the exact same thing we saw back here, where we jumped out of this channel up here, fell back down into it, and eventually blasted out of it. Right here, we jumped out of the channel, fell back into it, so now we would expect to work our way back into it and blast off. I want to point out that while neither one of these charts, this one or this one, necessarily has to be true. We could see both play out at the same time, and that's really what I expect to happen. I'm really kind of averaging my opinion into both of them and helping me build a stronger case for when the breakout will be. Regardless, it's very positive that no matter how we draw these triangles, it's looking extremely bullish. There's no one chart that's ever going to be exactly right, but I think both of these charts are telling us something super significant, and that's why I'm watching both of them very closely. We can see while this one's making support on the outside of the symmetrical triangle, this one is playing out almost to a T exactly like the last time we saw it play out. We can also see that the slope of this top resistance, when drawn like this, is very similar to the last one and is really just an overall carbon copy of what we saw the last time this pattern played out on a longer time frame. This chart I think is super interesting, and I'm going to be watching both of these very closely. I would really like to see this break out into here to cause a very similar event to what happened back here, and for this chart to rebound hard off this resistance. If that was the case, then I would expect the weekly chart to break out of this top resistance line. If the weekly chart was to break out of this top resistance line and this candle was actually to turn green, then this is going to blow your mind, guys. Then we would have almost a carbon copy of what happened the last time this pattern played out on the weekly time frame. We can see right here that this candle right here just poked its head above this resistance, and if we were to close the weekly candle right here, that is exactly what we would expect. We would then expect the next weekly candle to get very parabolic and take us to new all-time highs. Guys, not one of these charts is ever going to be set in stone the answer to what we're going to see. But if we analyze them all together and take into account the different parts of each one, we can see that we are looking extremely bullish no matter how we cut it. The important things we watch in the coming weeks are, one, that we stay above this resistance line. This is key because we do not want to be falling back into this symmetrical triangle. The other important thing is on this chart, we really want to see us pop back up into this range right here. On this chart, that's about $1.25, and I think that is very probable to see in the coming days. On the weekly chart, we want to see us break above this top resistance. If we can close the weekly chart also at about $1.25, it would be a carbon copy of the last time these patterns played out, and we'd be looking extremely bullish. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this update. I've really taken a lot of time to really analyze these different charts and see how I really feel about each one. And the more and more I look at them, the more I think each one kind of tells its own story. And really, the best way to analyze the XRP price chart is to be paying attention to all three of them and really seeing how each one tells its own story. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this update. Make sure that whether you come here all the time or you're new here, you like this video down below and subscribe to my channel. It's going to help more people like you see this video and really teach them about the greatest digital asset of all time, XRP. So thank you so much for coming, and for now, Mickle out.